Hello everyone, my name is Paris. Welcome to Budgetholics. The stock market is closed today as it's President's Day, but the crypto market is always open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. After the big Tesla news, in today's video we're going to go over why Warren Buffett is not buying Bitcoin. If you're also new to Bitcoin, check out my Understanding Bitcoin video, for which I'll leave a link here and down in the description, in which I go into some detail about what Bitcoin is and what uses it has. In today's video, I'm going to go over why Warren Buffett is not buying Bitcoin. I'm going to address those concerns and provide some counter-arguments. If you're interested in personal finance, investing, and wealth building, as well as in cryptocurrency and stock market news, please hit the like and subscribe button, as this helps me immensely with the YouTube algorithm. If you're also a Bitcoin supporter or a cryptocurrency supporter in general, smashing the like button will also help the YouTube algorithm promote this to the appropriate channels and help more people stay informed about Bitcoin. If you do not share the views I'm going to present in this video, please let me know down in the comments to which points you disagree with and what is your current perspective. As always, keep in mind that this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. And when it comes to investing, always do your own research. And if you need further help, seek the advice of a certified professional. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. For those of you who don't know him, Warren Buffett is the most successful investor of all times. Since he began trading in 1965, he has had an annual return of 20.5%. Currently, he's sitting around 85 billion of net worth, and he has deservingly been called the greatest of all time. Which begs the question, why isn't Warren Buffett investing in Bitcoin or crypto in general? Let's hear his first argument.
I think that anytime you buy a non-productive asset, you are counting on somebody else later on to buy a non-productive asset because they think they can sell it to somebody for more money. And it's been tried with tulips, and it's been tried with various things over time, and it does come to a bad ending. And you make a conclusion based on what the asset itself will produce over time, and that's an investment. When you buy something because you're hoping tomorrow morning you're going to wake up, and the price will be higher, the only reason, you need more people coming into it than are leaving, and you can get that, and it will feed on itself for a while, and sometimes for a long while, and sometimes to extraordinary numbers. But in the end, they come to bad endings, and cryptocurrencies will come to bad endings, and along with the fact that there's nothing being produced in the way of value from the asset, that you also have the problem that it draws in a lot of charlatans and that sort of thing who are trying to create various sorts of exchanges or whatever it may be. It's something where people who are of less than stellar character see an opportunity to clip people who are trying to get rich because their neighbor's getting rich buying this stuff that neither one of them understands. It will come to a bad ending. Charlie?
So in this clip, Warren Buffett makes 3 points. Firstly, that Bitcoin is all about speculation. Secondly, that it has no real value. And thirdly, that it doesn't produce any value. It is true that there's a lot of speculation around Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in particular. As I mentioned in my previous video, the 2017 Bitcoin bubble was fueled by short-term speculative investments. But as with any asset, the degree of speculation involved does not change the underlying value. In the late 1990s, people speculated on the price of a small online bookstore before the stock lost 90% of its value. But this doesn't change the fundamental reality of Amazon today. In other words, when the fundamentals of an asset are good, short-term speculation has no long-term impact. That's why people who know and understand the Bitcoin technology, either retail investors or institutional investors, are not likely to be swayed by short-term fluctuations in the price. A second takeaway from this clip is that Warren Buffett does not distinguish between Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And Bitcoin is just one of the cryptocurrencies out there. It has indeed been a flagship for cryptocurrencies, and the market cap of Bitcoin accounts for more than 70% of the market cap of all cryptocurrencies cryptocurrencies combined, but this doesn't mean that Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency. Ethereum, for example, is a completely different cryptocurrency that serves an entirely different purpose. While Bitcoin is more like digital gold, Ethereum, and especially Ethereum 2.0, is much more like programmable money. At this point, we should keep in mind that Warren Buffett is a gold hater. He does not like reserve currencies such as commodities, and he's reflecting those views on Bitcoin. Maybe calling Bitcoin digital gold does not help convince the greatest of all time. But then again, it's not a proper characterization of Bitcoin either.
I may start a Warren currency. Maybe I can create one, and I'll say there's only going to be 21 million of them, and you can have a little ledger sheet from me and everything that says you have it, and you can have it after I die, but you can't do anything with it except sell it to somebody else.
His second point is that anyone can start a cryptocurrency. And indeed, anyone can. That's why we have seen the rise of so many meme currencies such as Dogecoin. And again, this contributes to the speculation. But simply creating a currency does not mean that people will start using it. As with fiat currencies that no longer reflect an amount of gold, the value of Bitcoin relies on trust. But in contrast to centralized fiat currencies, the value of which is denominated by the trust people put in governments, in the case of Bitcoin, people are putting their trust in a decentralized network operating based on mathematical algorithms that cannot be tampered with. To this day, Bitcoin is the safest cryptocurrency out there. And while other cryptocurrencies, even Ethereum, might be susceptible to cyber attacks, the Bitcoin blockchain has never been infiltrated. Infiltrating the Bitcoin blockchain would take billions of dollars in terms of both energy and processing power. Anybody willing to invest that amount of money would be better off just buying the Bitcoin and then announcing it.
And the interesting thing, of course, is that Bitcoin's been out there a long time, and people talked about how it would be used in various kinds of exchange, but none of our companies are doing business in Bitcoin or anything.
Financial products do not count as counter-arguments to this point. Warren Buffett has called derivatives weapons of mass destruction, so bringing up the example of JP Morgan selling futures would not be a valid counterpoint. And that's fair. There is a certain strategy the GOAT has been using over the years, and he has a proven track record to back it up. So simply bringing up Bitcoin-denominated financial products would just be a cheap shot. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general are not only a product, but a service. One of the many pros of using Bitcoin is the swiftness of use. Granted that for small purchases, such as buying a bottle of water in the corner store, using Bitcoin would not make any sense. You'd have to wait 30 minutes to quench your thirst, plus the mining fees could be greater than the value of the product you purchased. But when it comes to larger transactions, such as buying a house or paying the monthly salary of an employee, using Bitcoin is much more efficient. The reason is that for those transactions, you usually have to make a wire transfer, and the wire transfer takes 3 to 5 business days. Even if you want 6 confirmation in the case of Bitcoin, this would only take 60 minutes. And you could make such transactions not just during business hours, but any time of the day, including weekends, including today, which is a bank holiday. Since this clip was shot, a number of companies have also announced that they will be accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. The latest one being Tesla. So the argument that companies will not be accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment does not stand. In the words of Andreas Antonopoulos, cryptocurrencies are the internet of money. In other words, they facilitate and modernize financial transactions in the same manner the internet allowed for the swifter and cheaper transmission of data.
Bitcoin has been used, I think, to move around a fair amount of money illegally. So the people,
or maybe in countries where you have
the logical move from the introduction of Bitcoin is to go short suitcases, because the money that was taken in suitcases from one country to another, suitcases will probably fall off in demand. I mean, so you can look at that as the economic contribution of Bitcoin to the society.
His last argument makes sense, but then again it doesn't. The number one currency drug and arms dealers are using is the US dollar. But nobody has argued we should stop using the US dollar because criminals are using it. This argument could be made with many technologies. Criminals were using the internet and are still using the dark web. This doesn't mean the internet as a whole is a bad thing. Also, back in 2015, the San Bernardino terrorists used the iPhone's iMessage end-to-end encryption. This doesn't mean that the iOS is an inherently bad technology, or that people should stop using it because some terrorists did. And over the years, criminals have utilized many messaging apps that afford them security and privacy, including the chat features of many online games. The equivalent of Warren Buffett's fourth argument is that we should stop using those technologies altogether because some criminals are also using them. As a final remark, Warren Buffett likes to stay within his circle of competence, and this is the best investment advice anybody can give you. Take the example of Apple. He only invested in Apple when he started to view it as a consumer goods company rather than a technology company. And that's completely fine. As I've said before in this channel, you should only invest in assets and asset classes you absolutely understand. Otherwise, you're just speculating. If you yourselves have Bitcoin, you can use BlockFi to store it. BlockFi is a high interest rate savings account for cryptocurrencies. You can earn up to 8.6% APY plus up to $250 if you sign up using the link down in the description. If you liked this video, please hit the like and subscribe button as this helps immensely with the YouTube algorithm, and let me know down in the comments if you agree with those points. If you don't agree with those points, also let me know down in the comments. Make sure to tune in on Friday as I'll be reviewing the GOAT's investment portfolio, and until we meet again, don't stop investing. Cheers.